Moscow, CNN. Before the crack of dawn, just before explosions began in cities across Ukraine, Russian state television unexpectedly broadcast an address by Russian President Vladimir Putin. The two self-proclaimed People's Republics of Donetsk and Luhansk, in the breakaway Ukrainian region of Donbas, which he had officially recognized as independent less than 2 days before, had turned to Russia with a request for help, he said. To answer that call, he was launching a special military operation. Its purpose, to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. Within minutes, Russian missiles began hitting targets in Ukraine. Our actions are self-defense against threats, he told his fellow Russians, claiming Moscow had no plans to occupy Ukraine. We do not plan to impose ourselves on anyone, he insisted. Putin described the special military operation in limited terms, to protect people living in Donbas who, he claimed, had been subjected to genocide, a charge that Ukraine has strenuously denied. But in the next breath, he lashed out more broadly. NATO supports Ukrainian neo-Nazis. Our actions are self-defense against threats. Then, in an extraordinary passage, he spoke directly to members of Ukraine's military, at that very moment in the crosshairs of the Russian military. Addressing them as dear comrades, he told them they had taken an oath of allegiance to the Ukrainian people, and not to the anti-people junta that is robbing Ukraine and abuses those same people. Don't follow its criminal orders, he demanded. I urge you to lay down your weapons and go home. As he has done so many times before, Putin claimed Russia had no choice but to defend itself. The hard-edged tone in his voice, he seemed to threaten the US, Europe and NATO, which, in just a few minutes, would witness his armed forces opening fire on Ukraine, something the Kremlin had consistently dismissed as Western hysterics. Whoever tries to interfere with us, and even more so, to create threats for our country, for our people, should know that Russia's response will be immediate and will lead you to such consequences that you have never experienced in your history. We are ready for any development of events. All necessary decisions in this regard have been made. Putin, who for years had criticized the West for ignoring his complaints about NATO's expansion toward Russia's borders, was finally striking back with fury. I hope, he concluded his short address, that I have been heard. Ad block test. Why?